Hey guys, in this video, I am going to explain the instructions for the Career Mind Map project. And I'm going to go through the steps for each and every bubble that is required on the mind map project. So you might be wondering at this point, what is a mind map? So for this project, the goal is to create a career plan for yourself. And when you're done, it's going to look something like this. It's going to be colorful, it's going to be simple, easy to read, and you're going to have your whole career plan right there. And some of the things that we're going to look at in this career plan are things like electives that you can take at the high school, extracurricular activities that you might plan to be involved in, jobs or internships that can help prepare you for your future career, schools that you might attend, trade schools or colleges, memberships that you can join to network with other professionals in your future career, somewhere that you can job shadow, and I'll explain more about what that is soon, and then the skills that you need to work on for this particular career. So the first step in the project would be to go to the App Store and download the app called Mindly, Mind Mapping. So it looks like this. You want to make sure you get this particular icon. And if you've never used Mindly before, it's a really cool app that lets you organize your ideas in a visual way. And you can use icons and specific colors to represent different areas. So it's really easy to use. And so download that app and then open it up. When you go into Mindly, you will see this welcome screen here with one Mindly there. So you can click on it and just kind of see how it works when you open it up. But that's just really like a practice one. And then in the free version, you will be allowed to create 2 other Mindlys. But keep in mind, you can also click and hold on one of the existing mind maps to drag it to the black circle in the bottom right hand corner to delete it. So first thing you want to do to start the project is press the plus sign, and it will bring you into this screen where you can type the information needed for bubble 1, which is your name and career goal. So you want to type your name and your career goal. So I'm going to put teacher, and you want to write the words career plan. And then when you click on the color tab, you'll have some options for different colors. The Mindly Classics are more earth tones, when the bright colors are more just like your rainbow tones. So you can pick any color you want. And then if you choose Define Child Theme and click on Varying, you can get like a color scheme based on that color that you chose. You don't want to choose same color, because one of the requirements for the project is that all your bubbles are different colors to make it easy to see the different parts of your career plan. So if you click on icon, this is where you can choose a different icon related to your bubble, and every main bubble has to have an icon. So if you don't want to choose one of these icons, you can always go back to this main screen here and then use your regular emojis built into your keyboard. So once you press the check mark, your first bubble will show up there on the screen. The next part of the project is to add 6 required skills needed for your career goal. And 3 of those need to be hard skills and 3 need to be soft skills. Now, I know we talked a lot about soft skills and you're very familiar with what the soft skills are, but you may not remember from your research on Career Cruising what the hard skills are you need for your career. So remember, hard skills are teachable skills that are easy to quantify. So for example, if you're working with cars, how to change the oil, how to drive a car. If you're a teacher, how to create a lesson plan. If there's some kind of software or hardware that's required for your job, how to use that. So that's the difference between a hard skill and a soft skill, which soft skills, everyone in all careers kind of need the same set of soft skills. Some more than others, but for the most, those are known as people skills. Okay, so when you go to add your skills, you want to make it your second bubble, which branches off from your main bubble with your names, and then you want to add each skill as a different bubble. So you can see here that I added my 3 soft skills here on the right: communication, positive attitude, and time management, which I feel are the top 3 soft skills for being a teacher. And then my 3 hard skills on the left: discipline, lesson plans, and Apple technology. And then of course I added my icon on the skills bubble, and you can pick any icon you feel relates to skills. And remember, those are under icon, or you can use a regular emoji. The third part of the project, or bubble 3, is to plan out some of your high school electives that you plan to take. Now, I know that you already planned your electives for your sophomore year, and that's fine. But what I want you guys to do is to click on this link here, which takes you to the Elizabeth Forward Program of Studies, and you're going to scroll down until you get to the page where it talks about the different pathways. So it starts here, and there's actually 16 different career clusters, and there's different pathways for each cluster. So you want to find the one that pertains to you. And when you find that, so for example, say it's education and training like me, some of the elective courses that are going to be really good for you are going to be things like partners in art, partners in physical education, psychology, public speaking, sociology. And you really want to focus on whatever career cluster you want to be in. The sample pathways are more like the jobs or the areas that the jobs are going to be in. And then this really helps narrow down those elective courses that the employers are going to expect you to have. So you want to pick from this list here. So you want to add a new bubble that says high school electives, and you want to add 4 different electives from that list we just looked at. So as you can see, I made each of my electives a different bubble, and then for each of the bubbles, for example, public speaking, I just added a little note in here underneath the drop down where I put a note about what kind of skills I'm going to be strengthening with that course that relate back to my career. So you should do that as a requirement for the project. The next part of the project is planning out 3 extracurricular activities, sports which you may already be involved in, enrichment programs, and camps that will help prepare you for your career. So to start giving you a list of ideas, I'm going to take you back to that program of studies, and you're going to scroll up to pages 18 and 19, and there's a list of all the school-sponsored activities here on page 18. So you can get an idea of maybe something that you might want to join to give you a little bit more experience in something that, a skill that you can transfer to your future career. So there's also a list of the athletics here and a list of the NCAA approved courses. So that will give you an idea. Now, in addition to what is listed here, you can also put your non-school sponsored activities for bubble 3. So things like any church related activities you're involved in, dance classes, scouts, anything like that you're involved in outside of school or inside of school, that just will, help you get the skills needed for your career, you can add to bubble 4. So bubble 4 you can call activities, and I have 3 on mine just as examples. I put track, dance classes, and chorus ensembles. If you're in chorus or band at school, you can certainly put those. And just by clicking on that, I put a little note about the skill that you will be strengthening with that particular activity. So for example, with dance increases creativity and performance skills, which are kind of needed for being a teacher. So you can justify that skill transfer. So that's the activities section. You should have 3 activities with 3 notes. Okay, so Bubble 5, you're going to plan out some places that you might want to work, either during the summer or after school, between now and the time that you secure that job that is your dream job. So these can be places that you already have in mind, maybe frosty cone, babysitting, cutting grass, things like that. Or if you need some ideas, you can click on Indeed.com, which is one of the most popular job search websites. And you can search for, something that gives you some clues about what kind of leads to your future career. So for me, being a teacher assistant might help me out in preparing me for a career as a teacher. So you can get some ideas there. Okay, so when you add the schools to your mind map, you can just call it schools. Click on it, and you don't have to have a special note for each of the schools, but I just put my 3 schools. I actually attended all 3 of these schools: Robert Morris, Duquesne, and Pitt. And yeah, that's basically it. So you just add your schools or training programs. If you don't want to use the website that I showed you on College Board, you can always just use Google as well. The next part of your project is Bubble 7, so just adding 2 memberships and organizations that you can join either as a professional or before you join the professional world. So the best way to search for this is to just search for organizations and then your career goal. And then when you search for that, you get a whole list of memberships that you can join here at the top. These are all things, a couple of these things I'm part of. So you can just choose 2 that you're interested in joining and add them to your mind map. When you add it to your mind map, you can call it memberships. And when you click on it, you can see here that I have 2 memberships. You don't need to add any special note. The purpose of this is just so that when you are ready to join an organization or a membership, you can go back and say, hey, I already looked these up, and these ones, meet my needs for my future career. The final bubble you need in your career plan mind map is job shadowing. Now, if you're not familiar with what job shadowing is, I have this slide linked here. Job shadowing is when you as a high school student would go to a local company or organization and follow someone around all day long or just for a half a day that has the job that you want. So you can really get a feel for what it is like to work in that job. I've known students to go job shadow at places and then they've changed their mind about the job, even though it was their dream job. They really got to see all the negative aspects of the job and they realized that it just wasn't for them. And then I've also had students go job shadow and they've actually made contacts and led to future jobs for them. So that's also really important too. So you want to find a local company where you might want to work and plan to job shadow there. So when you add this last bubble to your mind map, you should call it job shadowing. You should put an icon there and you should put the place where you want to job shadow. And also if you have the person's name, I just put Mr. Champ to be funny. But if you have the person's name, that would also be really helpful, or their title. Because a lot of times, maybe you want to do job shadowing at Jefferson Hospital, but do you want to, job shadow a nurse? Do you want to job shadow a nurse's assistant? Who do you want to job shadow? Once you're done adding all 8 bubbles, you want to just kind of go through these Mindly requirements to make sure that you have everything. So just like the requirements said, you should have your main bubble in the center with an icon or emoji, and then 7 around the main circle with all of the bubble requirements listed on the rubric. And you'll just be able to kind of circle them around here to see them, or you can press the button at the top here on the left to see the whole mind map all in one. And that's what I'll see when I grade it. Submitting this to Canvas is really easy. You just want to choose the arrow on the left side of the screen here and press it. You want to choose PDF, and you want to make sure Include Notes has a little check mark next to it. Open another app, and you want to choose the Canvas student and make sure you submit to Building Bridges mind map project. So that concludes the mind map project. This is one of your required state assignments that Guidance will keep in the office for you throughout your high school career. So if you have any questions about this project, please feel free to reach out to me through Canvas or through Remind, and I'd be happy to help. Thanks, guys.